welcome to the first episode of the guest interview series. I'm your host, Aiko Hemingway, and I am an American English pronunciation coach and business coach based in Hawaii. My audience is usually Japanese speakers who are coaches and looking for a way to work less and make more money as a coach, checking out American and Canadian business strategies. So why not, making content in English only sometimes because my audience can understand English well. So let me introduce my first guest. And he is Graham Cochrane. He's my business coach, and I found him on YouTube about a year ago, and I learned so much from him, and then I'm in his business community. So let me introduce him to you. Graham Cochrane is a business coach, YouTuber, host of the Graham Cochrane Show podcast, the founder of The Recording Revolution, a once no-name blog turned seven-figure business that requires less than 5 hours a week to work. He lives in Tampa, Florida with his wife, two daughters, and a girl bunny named Ella. So I'm super excited to share this episode. He shared so many great tips, so I'm sure you're gonna enjoy this episode. Hey guys, it's Aiko. I'm an American English pronunciation coach and business coach based in Hawaii. So I am super excited. I have a special guest on my channel. So let me introduce Graham Cochrane. Graham, thank you very much for coming to my show.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Aiko.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know who you are already, but would you please tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I run a couple of online businesses. One, I teach musicians how to record music, make it sound professional. And I've been doing that over at therecordingrevolution.com for about 11 years. And then the last 3 or 4 years, I've been running another online business, teaching people how to start online businesses. So how to take what they're good at, what they know, their knowledge basically, and turn them into an online course business or membership sites, create content online as podcast, YouTube videos, things like that. Just help people create an income stream using what they know, what they're good at.
Yeah, so I think I found you on YouTube around August last year. So it's been a year, and I'm super excited that you are on my show right now. And the material that you're putting for coaches or people who want to establish their online businesses, it's amazing. I'm learning so much from you. So I have a few questions to help audience learn more about your business and learn how they can establish their online businesses. Okay, so how did you start your own business, and how was it at the beginning?
Oh yeah, I originally started. I used to have a freelance business where I would record and mix music for bands, and so that bands and singer-songwriters would hire me. And I was trying to get more clients for that. And I just moved to a new place and a new city, didn't know anybody, and I was trying to get remote work. So I figured I would start a blog and start writing about what I'm doing in the recording studio and sharing some of my before and afters with client work so that people could discover what I was doing and hear what I could do for their music and then maybe hire me. And that blog eventually led to some YouTube videos. And what I discovered was that people were more interested in the videos and the articles I was writing than they were in hiring me. Or I was attracting people that wouldn't have been clients, but they wanted to know how I recorded music or how I mixed and produced music. And so they kept asking for more tutorials and more articles and more content. And so I realized early on that there was an audience for this kind of stuff. And I wasn't trying to teach anybody. I was just sharing what I knew and trying to help people. And that was very interesting because I'd never had that many people interested in something I was doing. And I was quick to try to figure out, how can I get paid to do this, because I can't keep doing this for free forever. So that set me on a journey to discover that you could create online courses, and I could create membership sites, and I could both give free stuff and paid stuff. And it turned into a business. I didn't know it was a business model at the time, but it turned into what I've been doing now for 11 years. And it's been a crazy fun ride.
Wow, I really love it because I really feel your passion. Like you are doing something that something you love, and I really see that like it starts like that. And another the other question would be so from like you decided that okay, so how can I make money off of this? So uh, now you have very successful business, but at the beginning, how did you reach a six-figure income, and what did it take to get there?
Yeah. So for me, a little bit of context, I had lost a job. This was during the global recession. So it's 2009. And I actually lost two jobs in 1 year. So I was unemployed, and I was in between freelance work when I was trying to turn that into a full-time income, because it was just a side income at the time. I was blogging and making videos. So I had time. I had about 4 days a week. I was, just trying to work on making articles and videos. And so I worked full time at this almost, and didn't make hardly any money in my first year. But by the end of my second year, I had made about $60,000 or $70,000 that year. And that's when I knew it was something sustainable. I could live off of that, and that would be great. But it was the beginning of year three. I had my first $10,000 month that January or February, and I could see it was only growing. So it probably took me about 2.5 years to reach six figures. What did it take to get there? For me, it was a combination of reaching more people. Like if you put out content, people find it slowly. And so it felt like it was growing, but really slow, like a straight line. And it was a year and a half into putting out 3 pieces of content for free every week, 2 articles and 1 video every week, for a year and a half of that, to a point where it felt like it was growing like this in terms of number of people seeing my videos, subscribing to my email list. So I reached more people exponentially at that point. And I also then had built a few courses, and my first 3 or 4 were okay, but my 5th course and my 6th course were really good, or they were what people really wanted. So I got better at making what people wanted. And so those came out right at that same time. So I think it was the combination of getting better at making products and growing my audience quickly, that then it was just a math puzzle. I mean, that's all six figures it's just math. So for me, my products in that business range from, $70 to $200 or $250. It's so to make six figures selling that type of product, I need a certain number of people to buy it every day or every month. And so I just kind of hit that point. And again, it was probably 2 years of putting that stuff out there, but enough people, enough good products, and it really was a good combination.
Wow, thank you. And then you started teaching business, and this is your like second time establishing your online business. How was it? Like, was it easier, or you already knew what to do at that time?
So I knew a lot more. I mean, the first time I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know there was books about it, or didn't know other people were doing this. So I was literally felt like I was making it up as I went. That's one reason why I'm so passionate about teaching people online business. I want to give them clear steps of what to do, because I didn't have those steps. It took me a long time to figure it out. So in a lot of ways, it's easier because I knew exactly what to do. in a lot of ways, it was scary because I had gotten so good at doing one business, and I was very well known in my little niche, my space for that business, and I was making good money, and it felt like starting over again. And there's nobody on my YouTube channel, nobody on my email list, and you kind of have to start over. And I was hoping that it would work. I was hoping people would trust me in this new space. And so there's a lot of fears and insecurities I had. It was also exciting, but it was a lot clearer because I knew, okay, I want a course that covers this, and this is going to make sense for most people. I want eventually a membership site, which Aiko, you're part of. So I kind of knew what my map was going to be, and I knew it would take some time. So for me, it was clear where to go, but any business it's just everyone's different. And so even for me, there was things that I had to discover. Oh, my audience doesn't really care about these types of videos. They really like these. This course did better than I thought. This course didn't do as well as I thought. Like I've had some misses. So it's still, I'm figuring it out, but this is now my third year of this new business. And it's something about that third year mark for me. I don't know. It's really picking up this year as well. And I'm really getting more comfortable with where I'm able to help people the most in this business. So it's been a lot more fun this third year, I think.
Well, I'm so glad that you started your new business. I'm so glad because I'm learning so much from you right now. So thank you for stepping up and start teaching business. It's really, really helpful. And okay, so the next question is, do you have any tips for people who are figuring out how to get to a six-figure income?
Yeah, so to reach six figures, you have to have started your business. I think you have to get going and make some money first. So if you're at the very beginning, the goal is just to figure out who you're going to help, how you're going to help them, and make your first few dollars and realize, okay, people will pay me for something, whether it's coaching or a product but once you've started your business and you're like, how do I get to six figures? It really comes down to, again, math. Do you have a really expensive products or coaching? Like Aiko, you're an interesting example where you have a small client base, but really premium prices, and it's really high touch service. Whereas my first business was low price products, like $100 for a course, but thousands of customers. It can go either way. So to kind of figure out what price point you're at and how many people would need to pay for your products to reach six figures. So you can look at the math, but then also look at what you're selling and look at what's selling best. If you had, for example, for me, I had a bunch of courses. After 3 or 4 years, I probably had 7 or 8 courses. And I could say, look, I've got 8 courses and I'm making, this amount of money. And each course contributes, you just split it up by 8, but it's not really even. It's never even. It's always lopsided. There's something called the 80-20 rule. And I know you've implemented this, but looking at your products or even looking at your customers, 20% of your products or 20% of your clients are the ones that are contributing 80% of your sales or revenue. It's always lopsided. So I try to look at what is the 20% that's really working. Is it that one course for me? Is it those 2 courses? If you have clients, is it these 2 clients make up most of my revenue? How can I go get more clients like that? Or how can I add more value to those existing clients that they'll pay me even more for? So I really try to tell people to drill down on what's working and be willing to not worry about or pay attention to the products that don't make a lot of money, or the clients that are demanding a lot and they don't pay you very well. It's like, you can fire clients, you can get rid of clients and say, I only want to work with these kind of people because they pay the most, they respect my time the most, they get the most out of it. I mean, those things go hand in hand a lot of times. So like Aiko, you're a great example for me. So you're like a rock star student of mine, and you've taken so much of what we're talking about in the community, and you followed a lot of my ideas and you've implemented them and gotten great results. You're the type of student I want to work with. So when I think about my membership, let's say, I want more Aikos in my membership. So I know the type of person I want. I want people like you who are successful, who are motivated, who take my stuff seriously and then go get results and then come back and tell me this worked and this is where I need more help. And so it helps me go, you know what, when there's a lot of other members, let's say, and there's not many of these, but some that are demanding even more and they're complaining about the price and they don't really do what I say anyway, part of me is like, okay, I don't need to change my product. I just need to not attract people like that and attract more people like Aiko. So to get to six figures, I guess it's all about not looking at everything as even, but doing a little bit of research and figuring out, well, what is your 20%, whether it's clients or products that really are what's growing your business. Go get more of those, or go make more of those, or add more value to those people. That's how you're going to grow the fastest.
Thank you. I really feel the energy that, especially I like the frame, you can fire your clients. So now that, anyway, I'm super proud of being part of your community. Your material is so powerful and so helpful, and it was just right for me. And now that you mentioned that, I realized that some people don't take action. The information is there, but some people don't take action. And then you said that you want to fire those clients, but target people who actually take action, take your material seriously. So how are you not attracting those people who are not your audience?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you can do that in your sales copy. Like I sell courses and memberships, so they'll land on the sales page and they're reading it or watching a video. I'll use certain words, or I'll be very clear like who this is for. You know, this is not for you if these things are true. And I'm going to try to like encourage people that aren't a good fit for me to not pay or sign up or join. And then if you niche down, if you're very clear on like, you know, I want to help people who struggle with this, and this, and you can get very specific. So that'll eliminate a lot of people. But the people who are exactly those people will perk up and realize you're talking directly to them. So it's kind of scary because niching down makes you feel like you're giving up a lot of potential clients or potential customers, but really you're getting focused on who are the best fit for you anyway. And you can't help everybody equally. And I think I've had to learn that the hard way, because my heart wants to help everyone. And then I want people to be happy with me and like my stuff. So I want everyone to like it. But I'm realizing I can't help everyone equally. So I need to help the right people who are at the right point that could benefit from what I have to say and the way I view it. And just attract those people. So it's in the words you say. It's if you have clients, you have a really stringent application process. Don't just have a quick interview and say, sure, if you're willing to pay me, let's work together. You can have a really intense application process where you almost have to make them fight for wanting to work with you, to see if they're really ready. I mean, it's almost counterintuitive, but try to convince people not to work with you, or make it hard, or make it specific, or don't make it super easy sometimes if it's a high-priced coaching option or package, let's say, because then the people who really are serious about it are going to want to go through that process and almost prove to you that they're the right person. And then you get to know too if they're the right fit. There's a whole method of coaching. If you're speaking about just coaching in general, it's a great book I read recently called The Prosperous Coach. And there's a whole method that they teach. There's two authors in that book. They'll do free coaching with someone that's been recommended to them as a coach. They'll do a full-on 90-minute session or 2-hour session, like for free, almost as an interview to test out the potential client, to see if they even want to work with a client, and then to demonstrate how much value they have to offer for free, where the person's like, oh my gosh, I have to work with this person. So you're not even having to convince them to work with you or hire you, because you just coach them for free for the first session. You actually coach them and try to make their lives better. So that a lot of strategy there of not just taking anybody's money, but being really clear about who you can best help. And I think, Aiko, you've done that really well. You've been very clear about, you know what, I've gone from broad to even more specific of who I'm going to help and what I'm going to help them do. And that allows you to add a tremendous value because you're very specific to the client. It's a perfect fit. So you can charge premium prices because you're worth it, because you know exactly what they're going through and you can speak to their exact situation. And I think that's a great way to scale, is by being really clear about who you want to work for and who you don't want to work for, and making that clear even in your positioning and sales copy.
Yeah, wow, thank you. I'm still working on niching down, and I see that a lot of people want to help everyone, and a lot of people cannot say no, like turn down potential clients. But your story and your experience really encourage those people to say no to a certain audience, because like you said, you want to help many people and everyone, but it's not really realistic, right? So that's good that yeah, thank you for that experience and the story and about the book. And how about you recently mentioned that what you got here won't get you there. So what would be your advice for people who go from a six-figure income to like multiple six-figure income or seven-figure income?
Yeah, it's different for everybody. And certain industries and types of businesses can grow easier without a lot of change, but every business hits a ceiling at some point. Not a ceiling of how much you can earn, but a ceiling of how much you can earn doing what you're doing. So I'm not a fan of change. I like to keep things simple, and I like, if I find something that works, I just do it forever. So it helps out in general to just stick to one thing and do it. But when that one thing is no longer getting you any more growth, or you've reached its full potential, you have to come to grips with the fact that maybe what got you here, I should say, won't get you there to where you want to go. So for example, for me, it was very easy, relatively easy, I should say, looking back, relatively easy to create a business that made no money, to a business that made multiple six figures, still all by myself in my spare bedroom, just doing what I always did. Nothing really changed about my activities. I still posted videos. I still made products. My audience just grew, and I made a few more products. I had more to sell. And so it naturally grew to multiple six figures. I think I got to a point where I was making about $250,000 a year. And that was my first plateau. And that's when I realized, okay, I can't grow anymore for two reasons. One, I don't know anything about sales copy or selling. I've put together like basic sales pages and they've sold, but it's not very strategic. I haven't really learned a lot about that. So I probably could learn a lot more about how to sell more strategically. And also I'm spending 3 hours a day answering emails from fans, and not just customers, but people that watch on my videos. And I had made a decision early on to answer and respond to every email, thinking, again, I want to help everybody. And I prided myself in that. But I was running out of time. I didn't have time to make videos. I didn't have time. I couldn't go on vacation because I had to always answer these emails. I realized it was holding me back. So two things happened in that year. I think this was year 4 of my business. I got some coaching myself and took some courses and learned how to write sales copy, and started to rewrite all my sales pages and rewrite my email funnels, and just I got educated. I learned, just like you join my community. I go and you've been learning new things, and then I go and implement those things, and that helped me get over a ceiling. I sold a lot more product with my same audience size and my same products, just better sales copy. I think I increased my sales by 44% one month over the next, and it stayed that way just by rewriting the sales copy. That was a big bump for me. So getting education, and then I hired my first assistant. I finally got desperate, and I hired a friend of mine to handle my customer service and clear out my inbox for me and take care of a lot of emails, get rid of the mean emails, delete the ones that I don't need to respond to, keep the ones that I need to respond to, get rid of the junk mail. And he would spend 2 hours a day, so 10 hours a week, to manage my email. And I probably got 2 out of my 3 hours back a day for email. I had so much more mental freedom and space because I wasn't having to issue refund requests or deal with angry emails or even just see a lot of emails in my inbox. I would log in and it was a lot cleaner, and that made me feel better. And so between getting education and hiring somebody, that was a big step for me. That was something different that I hadn't had to do for the first 4 years. But that really allowed my business to scale, where I probably doubled, almost tripled my income just off of those changes alone. I grew and learned a few more things, but those were big to get me to that $700,000 mark. And then I had to have another change. 4 years ago, I hired a marketing guy. I was approached by a guy who does marketing for my type of business, selling online courses and membership sites. He was a musician. He found my videos on YouTube and he said, "Hey man, I don't know who's doing your marketing. You're doing a great job, but if you need someone to sort of help you so you don't have to do it yourself, this is what I do." And I took a call with him, and I almost didn't hire him because I was like, I don't need someone to do the marketing. I'm doing it myself. I'd have to give him a cut of everything, and I don't want to have to pay him. I had all these, these limiting beliefs of like, oh, that'd be complicated. And, I had so many issues, but they were all in my head. Almost didn't hire him, ended up hiring him because I had some friends talk me into it. And they were right. And over the next couple years, he helped me not only come up with new product ideas, but new ways of promoting my products, just thinking outside the box. And even just like, hey, I'll handle the launches. I'll write all the email. You don't have to do that. You just focus on your content, the stuff you're good at, you really want to do. And over those next 2 years, he helped me grow the business from 600,000 to over $1 million a year. And I freed up more of my time. So now I'm working in the business less and less. It's growing. My profit's growing even after paying him. So that was another big change for me, was hiring him. So those are just a couple of examples of, you can get pretty far by doubling down on what's working. But if you find yourself stuck or hitting a wall and you can't grow it anymore, you're going to have to do something that you haven't done before. And that could be education to learn something new. That could be hiring someone to help you, like outsourcing something, or a combination, but you're going to have to do something different. And I'm at a point in that business where we've done over $1 million a year the last 3 years, and it's pretty steady. If I wanted to triple that and do 3 million a year or get to 10 million a year, I would have to really reconstruct the whole business. It would have to be very different as well. That we'd have to do a lot of things differently. So I'm having to have those conversations, and I'm at a point where I don't want to turn it into a $10 million a year business. Instead, what I wanted to do was start this second business. That was more interesting to me. And I want to help a ton of people, and I'm on my way to grow that to $1 million a year business. So but again, those are decisions you make. So if you don't need to grow it, then that's fine. But if you're stuck and want to grow, you're going to probably have to do something different.
Wow, thank you. And then it's coming from a person who doesn't really like changes. So it's like it hits me a lot. And but you said you don't like changes. I watched one of the videos. It was like 2 months ago or something about hiring an assistant, and you said you want to do everything by yourself, and you don't want to have someone working for you. And but then you made a decision, so it really hit me, and so I hired my first assistant, and I'm not sure I'm ready for it yet, but I did it anyway. So I hope that that's going to get me to the next level. So this is really encouraging. Thank you. Okay, so the next question would be, so if the audience wants to learn from you and discover more about your business material or the music material, how and where can they find you?
Yeah. So all my business content is at grahamcochrane.com. There's also the YouTube channel there. And I do a podcast every week, the Graham Cochrane Show, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So wherever you like to consume that content, I'm there. And then if you're into music, you can go to recordingrevolution.com, and there's videos there every single week. So
Yeah, thank you. So any message or any last message for the audience?
Yeah, all I would say is I've been thinking about this year, 2020, with coronavirus and the world the way it is. It's been crazy. I think this has been a great example of what's always been true in business is you have to stay flexible and don't get stuck on the way things are or were or the way they used to work. Some things never change, which in business, which is it's always about solving people's problems, helping them achieve their dreams, and serving people. So as long as you understand those things will never change. But a lot of other things will change. What products sold well may not sell well. What people need might change. The way they like to communicate might change. So be open to change, even if you're like me and you hate change. Be flexible, be willing to pivot. But if you always are looking for ways to serve people and add value in their lives, you will always be in business. It might not look the same as before, but you will always be in business. And I think that's a super skill, is to stay in business, not just do one thing well forever, but just stay in business, serving people. You'll never go wrong.
Wow, thank you very much. So, Graham, thank you very much for your time today. It was really, I really enjoyed the conversation, and I learned so much again about your business and about your story and why you're so passionate about what you do. I really felt the energy. So, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Aiko. Thanks for having me.